Now here, I want to talk about monetizing without the mayhem and give you some income strategies. And the first strategy is you have to diversify your revenue streams. You got to diversify it. You hear me saying this all the time that just depending on weekend gigs is just not going to cut it anymore. So you want to explore various income sources like streaming, like we just talked about the streaming platforms, live performances and merchandise. So you got 3 income streams right there. And the thing is, variety in your income streams can protect you from market fluctuations and provide financial security while allowing creative expression. So we've all seen in the past, 6 months to a year from the time of recording this video that the world can be a little up and down. Prices can rise, inflation can happen, the cost of bread and eggs could skyrocket, and gas could skyrocket overnight. We see that happening all the time. So what having multiple income streams and multiple sources of income coming in for us as musicians, it not only protects us from a lot of that stuff that happens, it's also what's going to sustain us throughout our entire careers. Again, I think a lot of us come into it, especially at this age over 40, where we grew up in this time where the way was to get famous. And that was your way of making money. Do live performances, do tours, and that's what you had to do. And that's still true. If you're famous, if you're Beyonce, yeah, that's the way you make money. But the reality is we don't have the success, the clout of a Jay-Z, Beyonce, or anybody like that. So we have to have multiple income streams to be able to sustain ourselves. So again, this is why it's important to have a little bit of money coming in from the streaming services. Have your merch that you sell at your gigs, your t-shirts, even your CDs. A lot of people think that CDs aren't valuable anymore. I just did a CD release last year where I made over $20,000. Hats, t-shirts, CDs, wristbands, whatever it is, hoodies. When you sell that stuff, those are income streams that you can always be able to pull from. If one of them goes down, if your merch sales, stop, selling, or it goes under, or, inflation happens where people aren't buying so much stuff, you still have another source of your streaming income coming in. So you see how that works? You're creating this sort of web of protection around yourself that no matter what happens, you're going to be sustained financially. The next one is leveraging online platforms. So you want to utilize digital platforms to reach wider audiences. So things like your websites, your social media, like we talked about, and music distribution services can help you build a loyal fan base and generate income directly from your supporters. I talk about this all the time, where these fan-funded things are the thing of the present and of the future now. There's a few YouTube channels that I follow, one in particular that comes to mind, where this guy is his life is completely supported by what he does on YouTube. He gets on YouTube and does a live stream every day, and the fans come support. They send super chats. He has sponsored ads where the ad companies are sponsoring him to do, ad sponsorships in the video, and him to mention the products and stuff like that. And he's created a complete lifestyle where he's bought a house, cars, all of these. I mean, I'm not talking about just small house and some, small car. I'm talking about expensive stuff where he's completely supported by those things. And what he's done is leverage the online platform of YouTube to be able to do that, to support his life. And this is the way that we kind of want to start thinking about this. Leveraging these platforms, using the platforms to our benefit. I think that's the reason I bring that up, is because I think what happens is a lot of us tend to think about social media again as this young thing. The TikTokers, this is what the kids are doing, and all of this kind of stuff. No, instead, what we want to do is think about, how can I use the tool of TikTok, of Instagram, of YouTube, of Facebook, any of those things? How can I use that as a tool, and how can I leverage that to help support me in my career? So again, that's another one. That's leveraging the online platforms. Now, another one is creating subscription models. So consider offering membership-based services where fans can access exclusive content or behind-the-scenes updates or personalized experiences. This creates a steady income while fostering deeper connections with your audience as well. You just heard me talk about this a little bit. So you have memberships where you have things like your Patreon, where people can pay you money on a weekly or monthly basis to get content from you. That's a major income stream that a lot of people are doing. YouTube channel memberships. That's something I have on YouTube, where it's a channel membership where you become a member of the channel. You pay a little bit of money every month, and then you get exclusive content for doing that. That's being a channel membership, being a channel member. You have all of these ways to where you have these subscription models where they can subscribe to you, subscribe to your Patreon, subscribe to your YouTube membership, all of these things. And I'm just mentioning two of them, Patreon and YouTube. But there's many more out there where you can do this as well. Even just having someone where even super chats can be considered that. If you go live on a regular basis and you have people that send you super chats on a regular basis, that kind of mimics a subscription. So creating these models where you can offer stuff like this to people and you have these multiple income streams coming in, again, this is the way that you're going to sustain yourself in this part of life that we're talking about. Now, finally, you want to invest in your brand. And this one is important. So you want to develop a strong personal brand that resonates with your audience. By crafting a unique identity, you can attract sponsorships and partnerships that will generate additional revenue in your music career. I just talked about the guy on YouTube one of the guys on YouTube that I follow who has done this, who has literally supported him and his wife's lifestyle. High lifestyle. I'm not saying high, but just it's not extravagant or anything like that. They're able to have nice stuff is what I'm saying, but it's not like they live in a 40-bedroom mansion or anything like that. But they're able to support that lifestyle just with what we're talking about, where they invested in their brand such that other people, other ad agencies and people like that want to partner with them and want to sponsor them. I get a lot of these on a daily basis. I would pull up the emails and show you right now, but that probably wouldn't be a good thing for a lot of these companies. I turn down a lot of the sponsorship ads that come to me. One, because there's a few reasons. One, because I've tried to just stay away from them as long as I possibly could, because it's just never been my thing. It's not that I won't. I absolutely will, and I've considered doing quite a few of them. But another reason about it is that a lot of the people that want to sponsor my content on the YouTube channel, they want to sponsor me with products that just simply don't relate to a lot of musicians. I want the products that I sponsor and that I can talk about on the YouTube channel as a sponsor to be valuable to us as musicians. So when someone reaches out to me and say, "Hey, we watch your content. We want to develop a sponsorship deal with you about our chair," I'm like, okay, like, what am I going to get on here while I'm talking? Hey, musicians, investing in your brand is important. Now, a word from my sponsor. Do you like to sit down? Do you like to sit down when you eat? I think this chair is an important chair for you to have. It just seems a little, for me, and I know it's a part of the ad thing, and I'm not saying that I won't do it. I'm just simply saying now that it's just like one of those things that seems a little inauthentic to me. Once I figure out a way that it is more authentic to me, and I see the value and the benefit that it's going to offer you as the audience who watches the YouTube channel, once I figure that out and I get that down, I'll definitely be more than willing to do it. But again, it's just one of those things that when you create content like that, those opportunities come from you. You may have that opportunity and have figured it out. Man, I can talk about this chair. So yeah, this chair company is going to sponsor this. They're going to send me $300, $400, $500 just to do this ad and a video. And you have multiple of those coming in on a weekly or monthly basis. Man, you pretty much set. It's going to take care of those, those small $7,500, $100 gigs that people are asking you to do on a Friday night. It's going to be a darn sight better than that. So again, this is monetization without the mayhem. The biggest thing here is just making sure that at this age, when we're going into this age, as we're thinking about our health and wealth and all of that kind of stuff, is that we're creating these monetization streams that's going to sustain us in our lives and sustain the things that we want to do.